This is lesson 7.6, percent of change. The percent of change is a ratio that compares the change in a quantity to the original amount. So percent of change basically tells you how much something changes relative to its starting amount. So a lot of times we see this with money. For example, if the price of something changed by $5, we don't know how extreme of a change that is unless we know how that compares to the original amount. If it started off as $5 and it increased by $5, that's a pretty big difference. For example, if the price of gas increased by $5, everybody would be going crazy. But if you're talking about something, like the price of a car, for example, that increased by $5, nobody would even notice. So percent of change just tells you how much something changes relative to its starting amount. So the ratio is the amount of the change divided by the original amount. This will give you the percent as a decimal, so you'll need to use the methods that we've discussed in previous sections to change those to actual percents. And percent of change can be either an increase or a decrease, just depending obviously on whether the amount is going up or down. So let's look at an example. Example 1, find the percent of change from 20 students to 24 students. State whether the percent of change is an increase or decrease. Well, percent of change is the amount of change divided by the original amount. So from 20 students to 24 students, that's a change of 4. And the original amount, we're going from 20 students, so the original amount is 20. And if we divide these, 4 divided by 20, this is 0.2. And then if we change that to a percent, remember to move the decimal place over twice, so this is 20%. And we also want to know whether this is an increase or a decrease. Well, to go from 20 students to 24 students, that is an increase. So we can say that the number of students increased by 20%. Example 2 says Pedro had 325 trading cards. He now has 270 trading cards. Find the percent of change, round to the nearest tenth if necessary, then state whether the percent of change is an increase or decrease. So again, we will look at the amount of change divided by the original amount. So the amount of change from 325 to 270, if we subtract these, you'll find that the amount of change is 55. And then over the original amount. So he had 325, he now has 270. 325 is the original. And when we divide this, we get approximately 0.169. Since we need to round to the nearest tenth, when we change this to a percent, this number will be in the tenths place, so that's why I rounded that far out. We move the decimal place over twice, and that is 16.9%. And whether it's an increase or decrease, it went from 325 to 270, so that's decreasing. So this is a decrease. Okay, so there are 2 try-it-yourself problems. Go ahead and take a minute to work through those. Pause the video, work through the problems. When you're ready to check your answer, go ahead and hit play to resume. And don't forget to show your work. Okay, for 1A, we should have gotten a 17.3% increase. And for 2A, a 25% decrease. Okay, so sometimes we use percent increase or percent decrease to show how much something is currently. Again, usually dealing with prices. So in order to make a profit, a store sells items for more than it pays for the items. The amount of increase is called the markup. The percent of markup is a percent of increase. And the selling price is the amount the customer pays for an item. And there will be two ways to approach these problems. We'll see that on example 3. It says, find the selling price if a store pays $68 for a portable DVD player and the markup is 35%. So here's method 1. In method 1, we are going to first figure out how much the markup is. We know it's 35%, but 35% of what? Well, if the store had paid $68, the markup is 35% of $68. So we're going to write that in a percent equation, just like we did in section 7.5. So the markup is equal to 35% of $68. And then we'll go ahead and multiply those to get that the markup is equal to $23.80. But then we want to know the selling price. So the selling price is what the store paid plus the markup. So then the selling price is $68 plus $23.80, which is equal to $91.80. Okay. And there's another way that we can approach this. Method 2 deals with looking at the percentages first and then computing the selling price. So if we know the markup is 35%, we know we're starting with 100% and then adding 35% to get a total of 135%. So this method won't actually calculate the markup separately. It'll calculate it as part of the total price. So we go straight to our percent equation that shows that the price is 135% of the total. So we change 135% to a decimal, that's 1.35, and then times the total, 68. And when we multiply these, we get the exact same answer that we got with method 1, $91.80. So you can use either one of these methods. It doesn't matter. I would say whichever one makes the most sense to you. If it makes more sense to calculate the amount of the markup and then add it, that's fine. If it makes more sense to add the percentages and then just find the price directly, that's fine also. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea to be able to use both methods, because later on there might be some problems that would be better solved with one method versus another. But go ahead and pause the video, work through the try it yourself problem. When you're ready to check your answer, hit play to resume, and again, don't forget to show your work. Okay, for this try it yourself problem, you should have gotten $105. Okay, so the opposite of a markup is a discount. And of course, we all know what a discount is. It's the amount by which the regular price is reduced. It's an amount that's taken off. The percent of discount is a percent of decrease, since, again, you're taking that amount off of the price. So we will solve these similarly, and again, I will show you both methods to solve these. So example 4 says, CR Sporting Goods is having a sale. A baseball mitt has an original price of $89. It is on sale for 25% off the original price. Find the sale price of the baseball mitt. Okay, so method 1, again, computes first how much the discount is. So the discount is 25% of the price. So 25% as a decimal times the price. And when we multiply those, we get the discount here is $22.25. Well, this is the amount that's going to be taken off of the original price of $89. So we take $89, this is the price, is $89 minus $22.25. And when we subtract those, the price comes out to $66.75. Okay. To use method 2, we're going to look just at the percents first. So We know we're starting always with 100%. And this time, it's on sale for 25% off the original price. So this is taking away 25%. So what we have left, 100 minus 25, is 75%. So the sale price is 75% of the original price. So the sale price is 75% of the original price. And again, when we multiply these, we get the same answer that we got using method 1, $66.75. Okay. Go ahead and try the last try it yourself problem. Remember to show work. Pause the video, and when you're ready to check your answer, hit play to resume. And for this one, whoa. Not quite sure what happened there. For this one, you should have gotten $11.55.